Good morning, Shabbat Shalom, and Chag Sameach. Day 561, 80 weeks since the horrific massacre of October 7th, of this horrific Saturday, Shabbat, where over 6,000 barbaric, inhumane monsters infiltrated Israel and massacred in the most brutal way anyone in their way. They went from a community to a community, from a house to a house. Jews, Christian and Muslims, humans and dogs and pets were brutally massacred. The women, young women and also some men were brutally raped, gang raped. Families were tied together and being tortured to the level that you can't even imagine, and were set on fire alive. 1,200 innocent children, women, men, and elderly were massacred that day, and these barbaric monsters kidnapped 251 innocent people. They kidnapped them from their homes, from their beds, with pajamas, barefoot. They kidnapped them from the Nova Music Festival, where they just went to dance for peace. They kidnapped them from the military bases where they defended heroically Israel and tried to push back the terrorists. But they were outnumbered. 251. Since then, we still have 59 hostages being tortured daily in the dungeons of the hell called Gaza for 561 days, 80 weeks. We are here every morning, never giving up, to demand from these inhumane, barbaric, rapist, modern-day Nazis, monsters, to surrender and let all of the 59 hostages go immediately, at once, in one phase, in one bus, all of them together, and no one is left behind, and Israel should give up nothing. Hamas apparently rejected any deal that would not have Israel committing to end the war. They rejected the last ceasefire proposal. Israel proposed 45 days ceasefire, no bombing, no targeting of terrorists, and thousands of terrorists released from Israel prisons in return for 10 alive hostages and I believe 16 unalive. Hamas rejected it because for them, they would only agree to a war when Israel is committing to end the war and withdraw all of the troops and let Gazan and Hamas do again whatever they want. And as the White House officials saying, and this is all clear to us all, to some of us, Hamas is not interested in peace. They don't want to end the war just so we can have peace. They want us to end the war so they can start planning the next attack, so they can rearm and regroup and build their military operations again in order to commit another October 7th. They are not done. They don't want to live in peace with Israelis, Jews, Christian, Muslims in Israel's side, and the Gazans, for the most part Muslims. They want the annihilation of Israel. They want the annihilation of the Jewish nation, the ones who live in Israel and the ones overseas. That's why they're also taking over, to ensure their dominance. They want to control. So we cannot allow it. We cannot surrender and let them get what they want so they can massacre us again. People who are saying that the hostages is the highest priority, yes, these hostages right now are the highest priority, and also the future potential hostages are the highest priority. We cannot allow Hamas to stay in power. We cannot allow them to continue to control Gaza and threaten Israel. We must continue the war and increasing the pressure, the military pressure, because I guess they're not suffering enough. If they're allowing themselves, if they have the ability to deny a ceasefire, I guess they're not suffering enough. They need to beg for a ceasefire. They need to beg to release the 59 hostages. This is how much pressure needs to be put to that level. So we need more international pressure to pressure Qatar, Egypt, and Iran to release the 59 hostages immediately and demand Hamas to surrender and give up that delusional idea, because it's never gonna happen. We are celebrating today, concluding the Passover holiday, when we again, every year, telling the story. We've been telling this story for thousands of years of how we went from slavery to freedom in our homeland. And after the Holocaust, we came back again to our homeland. We keep being kicked out and we keep coming back, and we keep being they're trying to annihilate us when we sing it. Every generation they are trying. But definition of insanity is trying the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. The Jewish nation is not going anywhere. We are an immortal nation, and we will continuously forever be the nation that stands for light against darkness, for good against evil. And we will remain living in a homeland Israel between the Jordan River throughout Judea and Samaria to the Mediterranean Sea for eternity. Am Israel Chai forever. Shabbat Shalom and Chag Sameach.